Hey ladies, Coach Nicole here. I'm making this video because you're in my 21-day fix or a different type of fitness program challenge group. And I'm going to explain the nutrition portion of our group because it is so important to get the nutrition right, because you can do the 30-minute workouts, but if you're not doing the nutrition aspect, you're not going to see the same results. This is the most important part, is the nutrition, because it's about 80% nutrition and then 20% workouts. But the workouts change your body. The nutrition will help you to lose the weight. So I'm going to quickly go over the containers, explain meal prepping, and the meal plan. So first off, if you're doing the 21-day fix, you should have come, or whatever workout, the 22-minute hardcore too, you should have gotten a booklet that explains how many containers that you get based on your calories. Now, you're going to have to enter your weight, activity level, things like that, to figure out which bracket that you fit into. So for me, I'm in the lowest bracket, which is like 1,200 to 15 calories. So I'm going to explain that bracket as I go through this video training. So my bracket, I am allowed, here's my containers, excuse me. My bracket, I'm allowed to have 3 greens, excuse me. So the green container are your vegetables, carrots, squash, basically vegetables. Now spinach, you just put it in there, and I swear that stuff is like springy. You can put so much spinach in there, and it's just going to pop out and fill up your whole entire plate. So even though sometimes these containers look small, they are deceiving. So you get 3 of these in the lowest calorie bracket. 3 greens, okay? Now, the next one is the purple container, which is fruits. So my typical fruits are, I have a banana in my shake, and I have an apple as a snack. So that's like so simple for me. I have pretty much, I've never gotten tired of it because I've done it forever, and I have my banana and my apple every day. Next container, your proteins. So this is about 4 ounces. So if you have a food scale, you can use it to measure 4 ounces, but sometimes it's just easier, like with ground beef, to just put it in the container instead of try to weigh ground beef. So you get 4 of these. This can be 2 eggs is 1 protein. That's a good thing to know, so you don't have to like scramble them or whatever and put them in the container. Just know that 2 eggs is 1 protein. Now, another thing is edamame can count as a protein or a carb, so you can put that into the right container for vegetarians or vegans. And there's some other things. So if you are vegan, I can give you a lot of different proteins that can fit into this container. And Greek yogurt also fits into this container, obviously. And I put that in here, and I mix it with like stevia and cinnamon, and I love it. I suggest using the non-fat plain Greek yogurt and adding stevia to it instead of buying this pre-sweetened, because those have a lot of sugar, and you want to control what they put into the things. So most of the things that you're going to buy are going to be clean. So example, like rice, you're going to buy, if you wanted rice, you would buy that, and then you would add your spices, because, you know, you just never know what people put into their packages. Like some of that packaged rice, if it has, sorry, there was a fly or something. If it has stuff in it, it's not always clean. Yellow container, carbs. I usually have oatmeal, depending on my day. Sometimes I'll have it in the morning. Sometimes I'll have it at 3 p.m. If I have no carb during my lunch, this is my carb. In the afternoon as an afternoon snack / dessert, because I add stevia and cinnamon. You're going to notice a trend here. I love cinnamon. So rice, quinoa, sweet potatoes are not a vegetable. They're carb because they taste good and sweet. That's why they're so good, but they're carbs. So that's your yellow container. And I get 2 of these, and as far as my proteins, I get 4 of these. So Shakeology is a protein. You count that as 1 red container. Anything that you put into Shakeology, like a banana, things like that, that's going to count as 1 purple container. And you don't have to put your banana into the container. Just know that if it's a very large banana, you might want to like take 3/4 of it. So if you really like want to be psycho and crazy and really make sure it's perfect, you can smush the banana in there. But for the most part, if it's like a huge banana, okay, this is getting awkward. You can just know that you would do like 3/4 or half, just depending. Like a small banana, put the whole thing in it. You'll get used to it and you'll be able to figure it out. And then blue. This is almonds, healthy fats. This is your healthy fats. This is avocado. This is hummus. So all of your healthy fats go into this. I love hummus. So I like to put this and hummus in here and dip carrots into it. So I have 1 green and 1 blue. That's a good snack. It's small because a lot of people don't realize that avocado is so good for you, but you can't eat a lot of it. It's very caloric. And the same thing with almonds. So good for you, but you shouldn't be eating more than 12. Yeah, you can't snack on them like chips. Orange container, seeds, and dressings. The best way to do dressings is to make it yourself, but if you're like me, you don't always have time, you can just do straight balsamic, and really you can find clean dressings at the grocery store. You just have to look at the back and see if there's sugar. If they have a bunch of chemicals in it, don't buy it. It's not clean. But typically like a light balsamic with not a lot of oil is okay. And that's what I typically say. You cannot put ranch in here. Ranch is not a clean. It's very caloric. You really want to do like a vinegar balsamic. But there's like a creamy cilantro dressing that we have in the meal plan that I provided. So that explains the containers. Now, what I typically do for my meal prepping is I'll prep my meals and I'll use these containers just to measure and portion them, and then I'll put them into, I'm going to be right back. Then I put my lunches into these guys, and it just makes it so easy to prep all your lunches from these guys into these because it's just so much easier. They're portioned. You portion them and put them into there. They're easy to grab. You don't have 500 containers to take with you. It's just kind of, I don't know. I typically teach this to my challenge group people because it's the best thing that has worked for me, and I've tried to just, and I'll use these for snacks, and I'll still use them, but for the most part, I use them as my measuring tools, and then I put them into these guys. And I sent y'all the link to the Amazon. Anyway, so as far as your actual meal plan, I have uploaded into our group a meal plan that is very specific, but I really want you to make it your own. My typical meal plan consists of 2 eggs in the morning, and I'll either hard boil them, which is a really quick thing to do. I'm always trying to do the quickest and easiest thing to do because I'm busy. So if I'm meal prepping and I don't have a lot of time, eggs on the stove, boiling them super quick. So I'll take 2 in the morning. Otherwise, I'm making egg muffins, which I will, you can, let's say you want to make 5 portions. So that's 10 eggs, and you can do 5 of these in there, portion them out, and you know that either 1 or 2 would be 1 portion. So that's how you kind of get the portions. People get confused about how do you measure this and that? Well, that's how you do it. You just combine them, you know how many portions, and then you separate them. Another thing is, I put that meal plan up there, but if you don't like yogurt, or cottage cheese is also a protein that I eat, that's super easy. My other thing that I love is like I said oatmeal, cottage cheese. I make my meal plans very simple. So I make my breakfast simple. I prep my lunches, and that's what I want y'all to do. I want you to prep some breakfasts Unless you're going to have Shakeology and oatmeal or whatever you want, whatever you can prep ahead of time, I want you to do. Definitely your lunches. You have to prep your lunches because breakfast can be easy, and you can grab 2 hard-boiled eggs, you can grab some yogurt, you can do that. So I suggest prepping that as much as possible and definitely having it the night before. But what I typically do is I prep my breakfast, I prep my lunches, and then if I have time, I will prep some of my dinners just to make it easier. Like say you need to chop vegetables or whatever, season things, like I'll prep that before and I'll put it in a Ziploc. Like say if you're going to season meat and things like that, I'll put it in a Ziploc. Now as far as this meal plan and things like that, if you were to do, something different, like say you don't like chicken or something like that, ground beef, I did a whole week of ground beef because I got sick of chicken, and I cooked the ground beef, 3 pounds of it, and I made spaghetti, I made chili, and I made just like a lemon zesty thing that I put like on my salad. So make it your own is what I want you to do. But the most important part is that you take your calculations and you know exactly what you're going to have that day, and there's no question in your mind what you're eating that day, and that's what you're eating. And then I want you to make sure that you have your whole week planned. You either use the meal plan, adjust it, print it out, write on it, switch things around. If you are not in the lower bracket, add more protein, add more fruits. You're going to have to adjust it to meet your needs. And last but not least, I want you to take your menu planner, I think is what it's called. There's another file in there that has check mark boxes for you to say, okay, I've had my red, da, da, da. So I'd like you to do that every day so you can see that you're tracking it, because tracking, just like any activity, you don't know how you're doing until you look at your tracking and say, oh, I got too many carbs, or So I want you to make sure you're following the plan on point. Last thing, okay? I know this is a lot. Do not let this overwhelm you. Whatever makes it easy. If you don't want to do the lunches, buy lunch meat. Make that your protein. Do what is easiest. Last 1 week I didn't have time, so I got lunch meat and I put it in my portion control containers with salads, like frozen vegetables. You know how easy that was? It took me like 5 minutes to prep my lunches for the whole week. So, that was a little boring, but at the same time, you have to think of food. Food is your fuel. It is not meant to satisfy your emotional needs. You have to, excuse me, get over that. I'm an emotional eater still. I still struggle with it. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Okay, now this is the last thing. Water. I want you to wake up every day and drink a full glass of water, because that is going to make you not be hungry. You're dehydrated in the morning, and better yet, add some lemon, because you can research it. Lemon water in the morning is really good for you. I hope this helps. If you have any questions or you're overwhelmed, do not let it overwhelm you. It's a lot, but you're going to do great. You are going to make huge changes, and it's all about progress, not perfection. Okay? I know I keep saying one last thing, but I promise this is the one last thing. Take your weight and take your measurements. And take your before pictures. If you do not do that, you're not going to see how far you've come. Because there's so many times I've taken measurements or pictures and I'm like, oh, I can't see the changes. And then I look at the pictures or I look at the measurements and I'm like, holy crap, I lost 3 inches. Or look at that. Like, look at the difference in these pictures. It's amazing. So you may not be able to see it in every day, but that's why it's so important to take those. And I want you to see how far you've come and not let it discourage you, because the scale is not always right. You might be gaining muscle. You might be retaining water weight. You need to take your measurements. Now, we have some really awesome girls in this group, and I want to see you supporting each other. That's what this is about. It's about being consistent, supporting each other, and getting through this together. I really cannot wait till day 21 to see how far you've come, because I know it's going to be amazing. I hope you have a great day, and contact me if you have any questions. Bye.